بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وخاتم النبيين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Again, I'm your brother Abdul-Lateef from both Arabic Virtual Academy as well as Abdul-Lateef.com. And today, I would like to discuss with you an issue that a brother actually sent me a question. And from his question, may Allah Ta'ala, continue to preserve him and all of us. Allahumma ameen. I wanted to, extract a point. So I'm going to explain to you the question and explain to you why I gave the answer I gave. So that way, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, if the brother is listening, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to be a little bit of extra explanation as to why I gave the answer I gave. The question was, originally, what do you say about talking to sisters before you marry them on the phone? What do you say about talking to the sisters before you marry them on the phone? To find out information, what you need to know, things along these sorts. Now, I'm going to tell all of you, as I told him, there's two situations that we need to divide the answer to this question into two different situations. The first of them is the situation of talking to her on the phone with her wali or her wakil. Then we have the situation of talking to her on the phone without the wali or the wakil. All right? So I'm going to address both of these situations bi'idhnillah in this video. The first situation is that of talking to her with the wali or the wakil. This is something that is good. You should, if you can't actually sit down, or you may have a question that you need to know, or things along these sorts, or trying to find out something that you need to know about marriage or the plans, or if you may be planning the marriage, things along these sorts. Doing it through the prescribed method is never a bad thing. I will never advise against that. I would never advise against that. As long as we said before, we've done a couple of talks on who can and can't be the wali, and we talked about the difference between the wali and the wakil, and so I'm not going to go back over all of that. Inshallah, you can check out some of the other videos that we've done. But if it's a bona fide wali or a wakil that was put in his position by those who have the authority to do so, then it's not a bad situation. Now, I'm kind of going to go in between the two situations. Because nowadays, for some reason or another, you have some of the people that have wilaya, or you'll have like the wali, or sometimes even the wakil, will say, you know what, you seem to be a good brother, you're trustworthy. Call her and contact her, talk to her when you want to do so. I'm not going to talk right now about the hukum or the ruling on doing that. I'm just going to tell you it's an extremely, extremely, extremely bad idea for you to take advantage of a situation like that. For your own good and for the good of the sister, you should refuse an offer like that. Now I know our nafs, or, our inner selves is going to say, oh man, listen, this is great. This is an opportunity. But we have to remember the way that we need to be looking at these things is through the looking glass of a Muslim. Someone who's trying to submit to that which Allah wants, not submit to what my inner self wants. Do you understand? Now, yes, the people look down on this situation because of all of the harm that can come from it. Right? So you can say, okay, well, listen, I may actually have a bona fide question. It's not haram for me to talk to the sister to ask her a question. Right? Especially if it comes out of necessity. So we can say, okay, well, listen, I will tell you you're right. But when you look at the waqi', or you look at our reality, that almost never happens. I'm not going to say it never does because I can't. But it almost never happens. You understand? A lot of times, the flirtatiousness from one side comes out. Somebody kind of throws a little something out there and, test the water. Then the other one responds. If they didn't shut it down, then, they may throw a little something out there. And before you know, a conversation that started that should never have gotten started. And this is the reason why we have the wakil or the wali overseeing the situation to begin with. Their presence should stop any of that. And if it doesn't, then you need to have another wali or wakil. Because that's part of his job. He's not doing his job if he's just letting it, whatever, go on. He's supposed to be protecting you as a sister, and he's supposed to be protecting you as his brother from falling into those things that are going to be displeasing to Allah. How are we going to actually say, okay, listen, I want Allah to bless me with a good wife, or I want Allah to bless me with a good husband, when all we're trying to do is start it off in the haram? Or all of the muqaddimat, or those things that lead up to it that we've done, are haram. And then we're looking for blessings out of it. Not to say Allah can't bless something like that, but come on. So I would stay away from that. Because chances are it's going to lead into something that it shouldn't lead into, some type of a conversation, some type of familiarity that we shouldn't be having with one another before we're married. How many times have we known that things like this get started and then they never get married? Before you know it, all kinds of crazy pictures were exchanged, little secrets were made known, and then everybody went their separate ways. Then somebody else marries them, marries the brother or marries the sister. And now you know something about somebody else's husband or wife that you shouldn't know, because we were in a situation we shouldn't have been in to begin with. Tayyib. So that's talking about a situation where the wakil says, okay, well, listen, go ahead, I trust you. You seem to be a good person. Do your thing. Brothers and sisters, stay away from that. And sisters, if brothers are allowing you to do that, find somebody else. If your wakil or your wali says, listen, I'm just going to give him your number, he can contact you if you have any questions, then you can contact. This is either someone that doesn't know how to be your wakil or your wali, or doesn't care enough to actually do their job. Either way, whether it's out of ignorance or negligence, you need to find someone that's going to stand up and do their job. Tayyib. That's the whole point on why you have a wali and a wakil to begin with. Now we're moving over to the other side of the table. Without the permission of the wali and the wakil and this, that, and the other, we're just getting to know each other, this, how we going. Listen, if there was any khayr in this, then it would be something that was legislated from Islam. Tayyib. We can't say, okay, well, listen, our way is better. Well, you can't really say that, we can't do this because they didn't have telephones back then. No, we can't look at it like that. It's the conversation that we're talking about that comes up. There are a lot of things that you shouldn't be and you may not know or right now, but you shouldn't have privy to. You should not know certain things about that sister, and she also should not know certain things about you. A lot of times we don't know what these things are, but you all know the type of conversations that may come up in these type of situations. Hopefully none of you would be all right with allowing your daughters to do this. Hopefully the majority of you, if not all of you, would not be all right with allowing your sons to do this. So how are you going to be all right with doing it with someone else's son or daughter? If nothing else, why start something that can lead you or that individual to gaining Allah's displeasure? Again, looking for Allah's blessing. Does this really make sense to us? So this is the gist of what I wanted to talk about in this particular video. What is my response to? Is it all right to talk to a woman before you get married? My response is yes. It's all right if you have a wali or a wakil is doing their job. That wali or wakil is not doing their job and says, okay, just go ahead and talk. No, it's not a good idea. It's something you should stay away from, and you should also stay away from having a wali or wakil that's going to allow you to do that. And if it's without the wali or wakil, you should definitely stay away from doing that. Whether or not we say, okay, the asl in the kalam is halal, whether or not we say that. Opening the doors for something we know 9 times out of 10 is going to lead into the fitna, especially with all the sicknesses most of us have in our hearts these days. It just doesn't make sense. Especially after we heard that ayah of Allah Ta'ala in Surah Al-Hashr, where it says, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Allah Ta'ala, He says, and whatever the Prophet ﷺ gives you, take it. And whatever he forbids you from, stay away from it, abstain from it. And fear Allah, and know that Allah is Shadeed al-Iqab, and know that Allah Ta'ala is Shadeed al-Iqab, or He is severe in His punishment. If this is the situation, and we know that the Prophet ﷺ forbade us from coming close to the fahisha, or those things that lead to it, then this is what we need to do. Tayyib. May Allah Ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala spread His mercy upon all of us, and may Allah continue to bless us all and increase us all in beneficial knowledge and action. Ameen, ameen, Allahumma ameen. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.